Hello, how you doing? And a very warm welcome back to Grow Up Garden Farm channel here on YouTube with me, Tom. It's May the 2nd, 2026. I haven't done a video now in over a year on this channel because last year was extremely stressful as we actually successfully bought our first house, which means at some point I've got to leave here. I've owned a house for a year, we've not moved into it, and I may just now cut to show you what I've bought. Over here, I'll update you where we're up to. So, chickens, we're down to just the 4 hens at the moment, 2 Warrens, Speckledy, and a rather overweight Muckle Leghorn. Yes, that is, believe it or not, a Leghorn. It doesn't look anything like a Leghorn now, but and we've survived a birdie lockdown, or is it bird flu lockdown over the winter, and we're relatively happy, but we are now a relatively small flock that would like to come in the garden right now. That's why they're waiting at the gate to see if I'm going to give them any food or are we going to go out. But we'll leave you up there at the top at the moment, girls. So 2025, I literally grew nothing. So we closed off where possible the beds. Believe it or not, that's the potato bed. And yeah, so basically we haven't really grown much of anything. The fruit bushes haven't done terribly well, unfortunately. So I've got this bramble growing, I'll get the name right, bramble growing sort of, and I'll kind of let it grow because it might produce some nice fruit this year. So, but these are the blackcurrant bushes that are kind of, and here's the blackcurrant bush in there somewhere, but we lost one there, and the one over there isn't doing too well either. That's really about it. Pear tree that was here originally, rhubarb, which is Anna's, which is doing okay, and we have got some lilies here. It's one of those really awkward moments because you don't want to plant too much here because, you know, we won't be here indefinitely, but at the same time, because this property is owned by my parents, you know, I won't be cut off from it, if you know what I mean. So so I've got a few ideas of what we might do this summer for 2026. Okay, so let me show you a setup I've got here. So I've got some outdoor garden tables, camping tables, all set up here in the open. What I found is, especially as we get into May, it's just too hot in the greenhouse, and the greenhouse is kind of full of basically been used as a shed, so it's just too hot. So what I want to try to do is direct sow out here. I've got a lot of containers, some in perhaps better nick than others, all reused or recycled from previous years, and some trays. So basically the idea is to just cover these tables with new sown seeds in trays, and then that gives us the flexibility to move things around. I'll show you what I've got. So these are some seeds from last year. So I'm thinking about putting carrots in, although those admittedly will go in the barrel or the bin we have down the side of the house. So, and those could just sit there all year regardless if I'm here or not. In the bag here, this is seeds for Portuguese cabbage. My neighbour a few years ago gave me a really nice plant, and it went for ages, and it went to seed, and I collected the seed, and I've been desperately trying to recreate some new ones. So the stock's a couple of years old. Hopefully it'll grow all right. Gherkins, I want to try again. Gherkins have never worked for me because I think I've tried them in there, it's been too hot. So I'm going to do direct plant in trays out here, leave them on these tables, see how well we do. The other thing I wanted to try this year was Glass Gem, which is a multicoloured flint corn. These are kernels taken from my own harvest from 2 years ago, and at that time you had to buy them. They're a speciality thing. and I bought from eBay these. It was advertised as rainbow sweet corn. It's not a sweet corn, it's a flint corn. I knew that when I bought these. So these were actually incorrectly labelled at the time. And that's the stock. I've still got seed in there that I grew into the stock I've got there. However, because I've been to the garden centre today, look what was on the shelf. Branded here as Fiesta popcorn, commercially available glass gem flint corn. So my big plan of creating a really strong hybrid version of it, and then maybe retailing seeds or selling seeds, and I say retailing, selling seeds in the future. I think the big boys might have got there before me. Anyway, so it says it's sown the glass, so you can see here, so we're kind of a little bit early, but I'm going to do a direct sow outside, and I'll leave them outside, not under glass. So I'm trying to think about if I'm just going to do the commercial, if I'm going to re-sow some of my seed stock, or if I'm going to try this second generation, slightly newer stock. This is 2 years old, this is 2 to 3 years old, and this is brand new. I need to be careful here because corn cross-pollinates through the air. So if this variety, let's say, is purer or stronger than mine, and I cross-pollinate, I'm going to create, so I don't know. I did try this a few years ago, and I stupidly grew sweet corn at the same time, and I got a very strange sort of a cross-pollinated version. It didn't work, and I had to scrap all the seed stock. So okay, so fresh compost bought from a discount supermarket, not the garden centre, because it's extremely expensive at the garden centre. That stuff was about £3 something a bag, and I've just put a couple of trays together ready. So I've got a screwdriver because I haven't got my proper proddy thing. So just going to make a hole, and here's the corn itself. So I'm going to struggle to open one-handed, so just bear with me. Okay, and you can see it looks very similar actually to my own stock, so it's probably the same stuff in all honesty. So let's just move out so you can see what we got. There we go. So you can see they're just like dried sweet corn kernel, different colours, and I'm just going to pop these in. It's always best just to grow as much as you can, because not all of these are going to be viable, well, they won't work for various reasons. So I always overstock stuff because you can always give plants away, worst case scenario. When this variety first became available through private sellers, you know, they were selling you the tiniest crumbs of things for stupid money, and of course now it's gone down to sort of £3, £3.50, £4 a packet price. So okay, so that's in, and it's just a case of just flatten that back down, and obviously remember to label stuff because you can remember what you've planted. We'll come and have a look at my own variety here. So again, screwdriver. Okay, that's lunch done. So this is my own stock, and again, trying to do this one-handed. And yeah, it was all right, but I didn't get a lot. I only got 1 or 2 cobs. So, and I just think trying to grow it, trying to extend the season by growing it under glass or plastic, it's probably not worth it with the climate getting as warm as it is. So that's 2 in there. I should there's only 1. There we go. Again, I think this is probably all the same variety in all honesty, because I think mine was labelled as Fiesta, which is what they're calling this. So my one is not a lot of difference. It's really down with this particular variety is what the cobs look like. Flint corn, so obviously commercial, bought today, 2-year-old own stock. The next thing I'm going to grow or need to do is gherkin, which is here. So I've got these prepared. And again, we'll do the same sort of thing. Chickens are constantly, we want to come out. What's all the really interesting things that are happening? We want to come out, don't we? Well, you've got your bit, which is barren as ever. Yeah, I know, but no, you can't come out because we're busy. Okay, so here is the gherkin. They come in, let me show you this, they come in little seeds like this. So again, as with everything else, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Growing slightly less, but I think these hopefully are going to work outside. We'll see this year. If we get a real like cold snap, then that might be a problem. Okay, so that's the gherkin sorted. And that's the aeroplane. There we go. I am getting really short on sort of starter seed trays at the moment, and that one's a bit battered, so I've got some square pots. Square pots obviously be nice because they stack better than round. So I think for my Portuguese cabbage, which may or may not work, I'm just going to half fill these with compost. I'll see what these do. The advantage obviously of planting these, albeit in pots but outside, is they won't need hardening on, hopefully. They'll kind of just get used to the warmer day, the cooler night cycle of this part of spring. So there's 4. I'm going to do one more. It's a bit big, but I'll do one more. If I was putting these to sell, which I'm not this year, I'm not really planning on selling anything this year, I just want to see what works. I'd probably make more up, but right. And then we'll see what I can pick out of seed stock. So these are the actual pods, which are very, very dry. And you can see there's the seed. Trying to do this one-handed is very, very difficult. There's some seeds, you can just see them there. Tiny little things, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. So we'll cover those back up. So that's 5, potentially 5 Portuguese cabbage plants, assuming this seed stock is any good, which we won't know until we see if we get a green shoot or not. The danger of going to garden centres is you end up buying things that you perhaps didn't mean to meant to do, and this is a raspberry cane which is actually growing, and it was discounted to £5. It has some instructions, so yeah. Okay, so basically I would like to take this with us, so I don't want to plant it, but what I've got is I've got a much bigger pot, and the plan is I'm going to take it out of this one, transfer it into this one, give it some of my compost, and we'll see how that goes. I have got larger pots. Worst case scenario, I can probably steal this one here and take that with us, but I need to keep it portable basically, so that's the plan. So I'm gonna need 2 hands to get this out. I'll pop it in here and then I'll pack compost around it. In the end I couldn't quite find a suitable pot, so that was the original. That was too low, that was so I've gone with a slightly larger square pot for now. So that's got some new compost in it. Although not ideal, we'll leave that as is for now. As I said, I'll probably transport that out into something larger, or I need to move that to the new house, so it might not need to stay here. Okay, next stop is again garden centre, £2 reduced iceberg lettuce, which is looking all right. Yeah, I could have grown that from seed. Should have grown it from seed if I wanted lettuce. Wasn't planning on doing lettuce this year. I'm so accustomed to buying things out of the garden centre. So what I've got is, I've got here a tray, a soil tray, and I'm just going to basically fill this with compost. Just a handful. There we go, compost like so. Okay, and then because these are growing on little individual things, we'll pop these out, which is very difficult to do one-handed. It's all got a bit twisted up. There we go. And then we'll simply transfer that into here. And then we'll see how those do. They've probably not got long left really. I think there's multiple in there. So basically we'll see if we can, how can I put it, fatten these up a little bit. Get some fresh salad. So I'll see what they'll do. They might just die on me. I've not had a huge amount of success with sort of reduced salad crop, but we'll give it a shot, see what it does. And finally, for planting, I also bought from the same discount some peas, which again wasn't going to do this year, and again they're £2 discounted, so we'll see what they're like. And I bought this, which is a pea and bean bag, so and it was discounted as well. So let's see if I fill this bag with compost, how well this is going to work. Again, this is something we might be able to take with us and not necessarily leave here. Okay, the bag is huge and I don't want to fill that with compost. So what I did is I've taken one of the plastic troughs. I found a piece of old mesh here and I've planted some of them so they can hopefully grow up this. This, we'll see, it's a bit of a mess, but I've planted some in this pot, put some canes in, and I put this topper from the bag kit. So we'll see what that does. Not massively happy with that, but we'll see. I mean, it was £2 worth of plants, so if these grow all right, then yeah, we've done all right. So I think that's the bulk of everything, more or less. And what I need to do is label up and give this all a good water, and then we'll set this up and see how we get on. Just throwing them some weeds in from the barrel that we use normally for growing carrots in. So I'll keep them busy for the rest of this evening. Right, I think I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you once again for joining me. And sorry it's been well over a year since I did an update here. If you haven't done so already, please do consider liking and subscribing. And I hope to keep you updated throughout this year. So I'll see you in the next one. Until then, thanks so much for your company and bye for now.